about y'all, but whenever you buy a new crappy car that you're gonna fix up and you're gonna do all these things to, you just get that feeling like this is what I should be doing. This makes me feel good. This is the plan right now. And that's why I feel with the Ranger. Like I really want to make the Ranger go up and down. And I think it's mostly in part to the fact that this goes up and down and this drives and this is a nice truck already. And I really don't want to take it back apart. Really, really, really procrastinating on taking it back apart. But it needs to be done. If I had a passenger front fender that was the same color as the rest of the truck and it had these sweet graphics on it that I really like, I probably wouldn't take the truck apart, to be totally honest, because it would be all one color and it looks really good this way. This is a really cool truck and it drives so well. And I've been driving it. Just cruising around, floating. It gets, I don't know. Everything about it's cool. The Ranger, on the other hand, that's a lot of fabrication. And that's what I enjoy doing, is all the fabrication stuff. But we have a little fabrication to do to the Mazda. I don't know if you've ever been here before, but there's like 65 videos of this thing. And we go over every bit of it with the body dropping, the interior, the engine mods, the tubbing, exhaust, you name it. We do it, and I talk about it, and I ramble. So be prepared for that if you've never been here before. A lot of rambling. About 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, I made a roll pan for this, but I never finished it. It's just held onto the truck with Clecos. It's kind of weird. It looks nice, but it's not attached to the truck really in any way. So I think that's what we're going to do today. We're going to finish that because it needs to be finished. So if you've never been here before, do all the normal YouTube-y things with the likes and the comments and the subscribing. Go back and watch the like 60 videos of this thing. We got like 3 videos on the Ranger already. We got some other stuff we need to work on that we'll eventually get to maybe. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump into it so I don't talk about it the entire time. I was doing some nut and bolt checking under the hood because, like I said, I just get in this thing and I drive. I don't check things. So this is where we're at. If you remember back like 4 months ago, the roll pan is made-ish. It's not 100% done. Where I had to fold it needs to be re-welded because I had to fold it on the weld and it kind of split some of it. It's just clecoed on. It's not clecoed on there, what I would say, straight. It kind of tips down a little bit. So there's a lot of things that need to be addressed. It needs to be trimmed to where it'll actually be able to weld on there. This, obviously, is not done yet. I need to fill that large hole there between. This is how much we body dropped the bed. I think it's like 5.5 inches or something. So I need to fill that gap between this not being attached, this being floppy, and this kind of being mounted to all of the floppy things. When the compressors kick on, it gets a little vibraty back here. Things make a lot of noise, and it drives me nuts. Because outside of that, the truck's really quiet. And the compressors kick on, which are loud, and then the vibrating is obnoxious, so we need to address all of those things. I think the first thing I need to do, pull the roll pan off, pull the tailgate off, and make that filler piece, because that filler piece judges the wobbliness of this, and if for whatever reason this is bent down in any way, I don't want it to weld the roll pan to a crooked, whatever you want to call this piece. So that's the plan. That's what we're doing. This is what I meant. It was kind of hard to see it before, but it's pretty floppy. So I need to make sure I have a consistent gap all the way across before I make something. I want to do something here that's not just flat sheet metal, but I'm not really sure what I want to do. I gotta think about that. I think I'm gonna let the whole A.d.d thing take over for like 2 hours. It gets dark at like 9:30 in the morning in Virginia when the fall time and winter, so I probably have like an hour worth of daylight. So I'm gonna go blow some leaves. That way I can get it out of my head that I need to do something on the house. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna come up with a game plan. That's the game plan, to come up with the game plan. All right, we're back out in the garage. It was I'm gonna say it was hard to find some motivation yesterday, but we're out here. We're getting it done. We made some progress. I got everything cleaned up. I got all the paint removed, ready to weld. I got a template that I made up. So I'm going to come out a little bit and it's going to kick off to the side. Need to hammer and dolly that dent up. But it'll be something like that. There will be a filler piece to fill in the gap. Be a filler piece to fill in the gap on the top. And then I will just take this template from over there, flip it upside down, do the same thing here, flip this template upside down, same thing there, and then we'll fill in the center. I figured if I got these sides to be rigid, it would help with all of this. I don't want to make it just one solid flat piece and then have this weird little pocket in here. I figured it'd be nicer if there was something a little bit more to look at rather than just a flat piece of sheet metal. Plus that angle kind of matches body lines and the squareness of the truck. But I'm going to get those cut out. I already started marking them on some scrap pieces that I had. So yeah, I just need to transfer these over, cut these out real quick, and bend those on the brake. The brake that is always buried in stuff. bad. So rather than trying to take this piece, putting it up here, and trying to weld this to here, and then grind that, and then grind all of these things, and having these little tiny things that eventually turns into a little mound of weld, and it looks kind of iffy. What I'm going to do is I ground the back of this. I take my spot weld cutter. Now I got my spot welds, lay that behind there. I'm going to primer weld, or I'm going to weld through primer everything. I'm going to weld that to the back side of this. That way, if I want to, I can do some, I can probably even TIG this to the bottom of this. That way, there really won't be anything to grind, and I can go back through, tape it, seam seal it, and be done with it. Once that's on there, I'll tack weld this to this leading edge here, and then start fitting these. I cut these a little big. Cutting it big allows me to basically fix any of the imperfections in this cut here, because that was just rough cut to body drop the bed. I'm going to take some tape, tape up my tail lights real quick because I'm too lazy to take them off the truck, and primer all of this. And if you've never heard of weld through primer, I highly recommend it. It's kind of expensive, but it's worth the money. It'll stop corrosion and all of the bad things that you don't want between two pieces of metal that you can never get to again. So basically all of this stuff, which I'm going to try my best to bed line in all the crevices, but you don't get everything. The weld through primer is like a normal primer. It's pretty thin, so the chances of preventing rust are a lot higher with this. I have bought a lot of this stuff. I've bought the copper version, the zinc version. There's another one that just doesn't even say what the base is. I like the zinc the best because it seems like it welds through the better, and I've let this stuff sit outside before, and that stuff lasts a long time. So we will never be able to get to the back of this later on to properly paint it 100%. So we'll weld through primer everything we can, and then once the bed's upside down and getting bed lined, I can try to spray up into that cavity, but now is the time. That will go just like that, and all of that is at least somewhat protected now rather than just a raw piece of steel. Well, the battery died while I was talking to it and doing stuff. And I didn't realize it because I had headphones in. But we have some weird clampage going on here. Need to pull the corners flush. Basically, the whole center needs to tip in a little bit. One of the things that I didn't take into account for when I did this pocket, we did this on a previous episode. I narrowed the factory license plate pocket. I didn't take into account that is actually recessed behind the tailgate. So whenever the tailgate opens, it doesn't interfere with it. So when I weld this one on, I need to have the back of it or top of it tip in a little bit just to avoid the tailgate from touching it. I think it'll look fine. You won't be able to notice. The sides will be flush and straight. The whole thing will be straight. It'll just be tipped just a tiny amount towards the front. So I have the level up here. It's just loosely clamped. It's not like messing up the level or anything. But that's holding it to where I know that the roll pan is flat. Because when you let loose of this, it just kind of does whatever it wants to. So I'm going to get the sides tacked in, work my way up, get the corners tacked in, and then attempt the whole rocking it in thing. And see if I can get this whole thing tacked in here. And then try and come up with something for there, because yet again, I'm running out of time. This week, I have been working on other videos. I've been trying to juggle back and forth. I've been trying to get at the crown and make the crown 100% daily drivable. That video should be ready hopefully in the next week or so. So this is like I don't know. I'm trying to do too many things at once basically, but hopefully it works out. But I'm rambling. Let's just get back to welding. 100% done. Again, like normal, I ran out of time. I'm not positive on the design in the middle that I want to go with. I'm kind of leaning towards a little window, like having the center open just in the very center, I guess. But it's either that or a removable panel with screws, or maybe something with a hinge. A lot of options. Maybe y'all can help me decide and come up with something cool. I think like an oval window would look pretty cool, like almost like the grill, basically, a bigger version of the grill. But this is where we're at. I just kind of got after it and started grinding and smoothing things out. It needs to be body worked. It is not 100% flat. It needs to be hammered and dollied for sure. I have some slight raised edge here, low spot there, low spot here, and a slight raised edge here. I have to finish the very bottom on both sides, but overall, for like a day and a quarter worth of work, it's not bad. That's with me doing my normal thing where I stray off and work in the backyard for 3 hours, like I did this morning. So, not too bad. If you've never been here before, I'd really appreciate it if y'all subscribed. We are almost at 3,500 subs. I'm going to do another giveaway at 4,000. Just to show my appreciation for everybody. I'll be giving away t-shirts. I've decided. So, again, tell your friends, tell your mom, whoever. We're building stuff. I think next week we're going to jump back on the Ranger. I will be, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be bouncing around between projects. I'm trying to get a couple videos ahead, which is really hard because I kind of did it to myself, but I'm trying to get a couple videos ahead because I have something I got to do 2 weekends from now where I won't be able to record. So I'm trying to cram a bunch of work into the next 2 weeks. So if it seems kind of rushed, I apologize. Again, I've never been here before. Go check out all the other videos. We upload every single Sunday, and I'm not going to miss the Sunday that even So that's what I'm doing, trying not to miss a Sunday. So that's why I'm trying to get ahead and juggle multiples of these videos. And I'm rambling again, like I normally do. So I'll see you next Sunday. Thanks for watching. I will be making little pockets here. I'm not going to leave this unfinished. I just haven't figured out how I want to do that yet. But there will be little pockets. So if you're looking at that saying that looks terrible and unfinished, that's why. Pretty good progress. I'm going to prime all this.